tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
This is what you okay. No more. You're never allowed to pick the music again.
I just said something.
I know
no,
that
no words.
We said,
you don't
I
have
think
a Valentine's,
this is the theme
but this
song.
is but this isn't what. Look, we've been in a mode. We have a theme to the show. Okay?
What theme is that? What would be more
21
suitable
Savage.
for you?
21
Oh, is that
Savage.
every time?
No, but I mean, I love 21
Does he have
Savage.
a grill?
He doesn't have a grill. Or maybe he does. I haven't seen him specifically with one yet.
We want, guys, we want grills.
I think the girls would look good in grills.
Let us know what you think on my social media.
Well, let them know what you think about.
And you can follow me at Abigail Fraher
Yeah.
on all of my social media channels.
That's a true thing.
And I'm Olivia Gabaree. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, The Real OG.
And I am Tehran, at I am Tehran. I am the same Tehran that couldn't get them in last night in my own show. They came to my show with balloons, the sweetest thing ever,
embarrass us.
but I didn't see them.
He's trying to make us
to
feel.
get 'em in.
We got him.
No.
We got him 7 big ass balloons for his birthday.
It was the sweetest thing, but I didn't even see them. I was actually gonna get mad at them, and then they had taken video of how they couldn't get in.
Hey, they weren't assertive, so it's our fault.
That's what it is. It's like, and also comment below about what you think.
I don't know how to be more assertive than fucking getting 7 giant balloons.
Yeah, but I didn't see
going,
them.
Tehran! Tehran! And him going, and
That's
him going, and him going.
First and
You know
last.
when you like make eye contact with someone, but you don't really make eye contact? Like when you're talking to someone, they tell you like, look at their mouth or their nose, so it looks like you're looking at their eyes.
they're
It's like
probably
Tehran
looking down,
looked at me
right?
like at my fucking eyebrow and was just like, I didn't see you though.
I didn't see her. I would have, if I'd seen Abigail or Olivia, I would have definitely let Olivia in. So that's the thing. I didn't see them, but please comment below and tell me what you think about them having grills and appropriating urban culture. Let's talk about that a little in the comments below.
Can't wait to hear.
Hey, if you want to see me with
feedback.
dentures, you can find me on social media at Rick Hong.
You always know what to say.
Well, hold on,
really
don't you have something else?
I am a dangerous man.
Yes, later, dude. That's my tagline at the end.
okay,
Back
my
on
bad.
I'm a dangerous man. At the
Spoiler
end.
I understand. I apologize. We apologize.
We're talking about grills, so staying in theme, you know? Dentures.
Got it.
All right, guys, so let's hop into episode 5. It was a little slower, I think, than
I thought the beginning
last week.
jumped. Like maybe the overall episode, but I thought the beginning was like.
So let's talk about this duel. Who said that they thought he was going to do it?
I was hoping he was
the
gonna
fact
die.
that you thought it was slow. I actually really
Really?
thought.
I thought I was so underwhelmed.
Not as much as last episode.
I actually thought this episode was to me, it was my favorite episode, and it
Really?
had the most key components. To me, it was
I
like the
disagree.
centerpiece.
I thought
The
it
plot was
started
slower.
fast. I thought it started fast with the duel, like boom. It was like,
Yeah,
okay,
but
we got action as opposed to like, Tom Hardy
But
walking
did we
around.
get action?
Yeah.
We did
mean-
get action, and with that duel.
See, I was disappointed.
in the duel?
Yeah.
No, we called.
No, there
we
was a
called
nice
that they weren't
twist
gonna
to it,
die.
I think.
Yes.
They
and
can't die. Neither of them can
They
die.
can't
I
die.
understand, but I was still
The antagonist and the protagonist can't die.
Didn't like
in
it.
Episode
Why
5.
not?
Rule 1 in television.
It just-
Really? Because Game of Thrones.
in
Game of
entertainment.
Thrones. Game of Thrones is writes its own
Just
book.
saying.
Olivia, what was your prediction last week for the duel? Oh wait, you weren't here. Never mind.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
What kind of gun is that?
Yo,
That's the knuckle gun.
Broken barrel?
nah.
The one without.
It's Rugers.
unloaded.
Oh no, wait,
That's how I know you.
No, hold on,
that's
hold on.
Rugers.
Wait. Olivia's
I
got
don't
a
know what
move.
that
She's
is.
got
Yeah,
the.
no.
She's got
Yeah,
the.
no, it's
She's got
like-
the. Yeah, there we go.
It's Abby and I
We need
have
double
the-
barrel
What kind
shotgun.
Hold on, what kind of guns are these? I had triggers like I was actually shooting.
These are the guns.
These are like-
No, we're not like
No.
pretending that we're shooting a gun like this is the gun.
Oh,
Bam,
this-
bam, motherfucker.
See, I shoot from the side. I just.
Okay, you know what? This is why you guys can't get grills.
That's why I would win a duel.
Yeah, yours would
you
be.
know what? I
You would be
would've
very
loaded
And you know
James.
what? You would have loaded my gun
I
right.
would've loaded your
Unlike,
gun.
If you were James, you would have
unlike
shoot.
Gary's little second man in the
You would
company.
shoot
The little
empty
snake
load.
working
You look
for
like
the
an
East
empty
Indian
load
Company.
shooter.
Empty load shooter.
Empty
You
load
look like an
shooter.
empty load shooter.
Definitely not. Definitely not. You look like an empty load shooter.
Damn. That's
Definitely
cool.
not. Well, if you're ever trying to duel.
Did you guys see that coming though? Like you thought that?
No, I honestly
I mean,
thought after Tron was talking about it last week, I honestly thought that okay, Tom Hardy would like maybe like just wound Gary, but
Yeah.
instead I didn't see the whole like fake.
I feel like too how they set it up last week. I was expecting it to be like a duel to the death, kind of like what Gary had wanted, and then like they started off the episode saying first blood, and then it like so that let me down, and
Well,
then
because
like,
not
it
everybody's
just,
always a good shot.
No, but it just kind of like
And they said
I had these
would be
I had
there.
expectations up here, I guess, even though in the back of my mind I knew that no one really was going to die and something was going to not be as dramatic as I wanted it to be. I was still a little bit let down.
It won't be the first or last time you'll be let down
Moving on.
by men in your life, Abigail. I'll let you know that now, you know? We miss you, Daddy. I get it. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. Here's my situation with that. In the duel, you and I had, we knew neither one was going to die. We both knew that.
Right.
And you're telling me that the twist did not surprise you? Because I love that twist.
We knew that what twist that the other guy got shot.
We as a panel, right? We thought that sure something was going to happen, but we knew they weren't going to die.
So we assumed someone was going to die.
I never saw James killing the second man. Well, we didn't even know enough about duel history to know there was a second and all that stuff, right? But
Yeah,
then
all the
even when
rules
we
that were
saw
laid out.
even though there was a second person, right? I did not see him getting shot as a company man off the bat. Like, I didn't see that coming. I saw when James walked up to him and didn't shoot him in the head, I thought he was just going to disgrace him. But then the other guy turned and he just shot him in the back in cold blood, basically. I didn't see that coming. And to me, that's why I was like, this is a key component.
Okay, so I guess I didn't see it coming, but then looking back at it, of course, like we always...
No,
Anyway, of course, I think when we do that, we assume anyone would. I mean, James has to kill someone.
Well,
And I feel like he has that. He
needs to kill someone.
I think it was
that's what I'm saying though. Like regardless, like in every I think built up situation, James is gonna kill someone. It might not be anyone important.
See, he likes to kill people with those little weird knife things. That's what it is. He doesn't like to shoot people. He
That's
just likes
the
to sit
most
there and
intimate
slice.
form of killing.
It is.
Right.
Because he's a
That's-
sicko.
Right. He's toxic. He's
First
a
of all,
psycho.
can we also say it's kind of white privilege? How come no cops just go, excuse me, sir? Hello, I'm Paul. Did you just murder a couple, 5, 7, 12 people?
Yeah, no.
Like someone
People.
would say something. I don't know. I have the worst English accent, but the
People.
People. I don't know. It's like French or everything. But here's the thing. What I found interesting in that scene was what happened is that the company man, they were like, the reason they did that is because my life is worth more than yours.
Right.
And that was very interesting and telling because James safeguarded himself with that part of the will that
He
he
can't
gave his
die.
lawyer.
He cannot be killed.
die.
Right.
They have to try him.
Right.
He can get hung, but he cannot die.
But I don't think he can get hung either.
Well,
Because
not right
he
now.
made that because with the robbery thing, he's not even really concerned about that because they can't hang him because then he'll
That's
be dead.
what he feels, but
Well,
he's
because-
Or
still
do you
concerned.
so you think he could get so you think that hanging is outside the guidelines?
I think that if he is somehow criminally found guilty in some manner and
Then it's void.
they create it where they take his property. Like there are loopholes in the law, right?
Yeah.
And this law, even though it's written and especially it's English common law and everything's going on, we're going against the Prince Regent and the company, which are the two most powerful forces.
Right.
It might not happen today or tomorrow, but there may be another way. He just has time for now.
Right.
He has time for
Well,
now.
not much time
Well,
with the Americans.
isn't this robbery pretty much pinning the crown and the company against each other?
I mean, that's what we're seeing right now,
Yeah.
and it's the first time that the two bad guys are fighting each other
Right.
instead of.
Because they were not happy with each other last
woman
episode, but they were just kind of like, okay, we're just not going to like really do business together. Now
Yeah,
they're,
like Sir
now they're
Strange is getting
pissed.
his. Yeah.
Now it's like shit's happening.
Yep.
So he's playing it all right, you know?
Right.
Right now, and if you watch that preview, there was that statement said like, let's let him feel like he's a step ahead when it's actually us. So I'm very interested in seeing what happens. As it
Can't
goes.
get too cocky,
Okay.
you know?
So
No, and who knows if you know who Strange is even referring to at that point.
I'm gonna go. I personally feel like it's James
Quote
Delaney.
on a limb.
Delaney.
But I'm gonna go out,
James
I'm gonna go out
Delaney.
on that limb and think it's James Delaney. But you know what? This week, the twist surprised me enough where it's possible
Could be the Prince Regent. Yeah.
because they gave up a lot of information this week, and it was very surprising to me for them to do so because it hasn't been this transparent throughout the season.
Wait. So what did you find? What area did you find slow?
I just
not
didn't really
getting
like this
specific.
episode.
Just-
Okay.
Say
Okay.
that.
Oh, so you
Say
didn't
I
like the
didn't like
episode.
the
Okay.
episode.
It wasn't that it was slow. Just.
I mean, it
okay.
wasn't like-
Okay.
I guess now that we're talking about it, it wasn't slow, but watching it, it felt very slow to me. I wasn't. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like this episode.
But no, we had some good reveals finally.
There
though.
were. I mean, well, okay.
Prominent information.
Let's go to Winter, because Winter then revealed herself to Lorna.
She's real. Finally.
She's real.
After 5 episodes, we
She
finally
also-
find out.
I honestly still don't know.
Well, here's my thing, because she
Well, she
also went and
saved
got
that
those
guy.
men to get
Save the girl.
to get the
I'm coming to
company like
America.
spy guy out of the I just said out of the whore.
Literally speaking,
Out of the whore.
Yes.
But what I was thinking when she came to Lorna, I'm wondering if she is almost like a figment of, a counter conversation within their mind, and it's just being portrayed as another person
No
in the
one
episode.
speaks to her directly. They speak in the midst, but they don't address her, and that's what my concern is.
Right.
My concern is, and even there's the scene where what's the guy's name that's the bad guy that's on James Delaney's side, who was in the movie Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Oh, Atticus.
Atticus.
Oh.
When Atticus speaks, because Winter comes and brings the note and they pin it on the body, Atticus speaks. He just says like something so ambiguous and vague, and then if you
it's
notice,
like almost a conversation in their own minds.
exactly, and if you notice, Winter's companion looked like one of those voodoo guys with the top hat, the little kid in the background.
That little kid's always there, too.
Who's always there, that
Always.
no one addresses either. So it's almost like a part of James, and the statements they make are statements that they can also make to James, and it would make just as much sense.
Right.
Okay.
So it's possible. I don't know. Is it looking more convincing to me that Winter is real? Yes. But
Right,
that
but
could
looking
be,
at both sides of it, it could
Exactly.
right. It could
Guys,
be
what do you
either.
think? Real, not real?
Again,
it's
keep
always a
on,
question.
and I think people are torn on that.
Yeah, we had a
in
lot
the
of people
comments.
one way or the other.
Then we see basically James and the chemist's little interaction.
Yeah, the chemist is going for Lorna.
But
Yeah.
it's so
Chumley-
funny because
Chumley-
like
yeah,
James,
Chumley loves her.
James is so funny when he handles things. He's like, he'll talk about it when he wants to talk about it, and only when he wants to talk about it. And like, he's not letting him get to Lorna. But I don't think it's because he really likes Lorna. I think it's because he wants control of both people and control of both situations, and they can't really team up on him if he's kind of.
I think he wants
owning
Lorna.
both.
Well, no, do you like that phrase though? How he said like, hey, there's many women that I would screw pretty much, but there's only a few that I would actually just masturbate to as well.
I think you liked it because you brought it up.
It's funny. That's a good phrase.
so
No.
Dude,
Hey, whoa.
It's a good
don't
phrase.
put me into the perv circle with everybody. Because I saw you look at me for
for backup.
He's like,
confirmation.
yeah, it's a good phrase.
I saw you look at me for confirmation there, and that's not.
I mean,
that's
is
not
that
right.
true for you guys? Are there do you feel like you would bang more girls than you would like?
That has to take
imagine?
that special someone too.
I can understand the statement. I actually just in general sexually am very particular a person, so it would be a common occurrence.
Would you
like,
only
they
sleep
would
with
be.
girls that you would like also
Like,
masturbate
that I-
to?
Exactly. So I would be in that situation where it's a girl. The girl is a girl who sexually satisfies me or appeases me, and also is part of my fantasy as well.
Okay.
So it would not be mutually
So you
exclusive.
have a small circle for both.
I do.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now,
You
if
take
all
all
of you
notes?
guys
Out
have
there.
small circles for your sexual exploitations, because as women, you guys have sexual fantasies as well. Do you feel that that's
I wasn't good at this conversation.
why?
Okay, so what happened next?
No, we still have to talk about Chumley and Lorna, because you said that he wants her and you said he doesn't, and I think that James is quite more fond of Lorna than he is willing to admit, as a person of not only interest, but he trusts her more than he likes to admit as well.
It's his little sidekick.
And he needs her, and he doesn't
But I think
need
that-
anyone.
Yeah.
But there's a point where he confides in her. He's more real with her, even at the point where he's burning the letters.
But I think that's separate from his sexual attraction to her.
I think it's a little bit of both.
for now, possibly. But James is still a person with needs, and
Is he, though?
eventually,
Because we haven't seen him actually act on anything really.
I mean,
But
he
it's
magically
because he's
acted on
laser
it.
focused. So he's other than on the only distraction he has is his sister.
Right.
But he's like laser focused on what he wants to do. That's why you're always like, oh, his legs are sexy.
and we have seen him distracted as
That's
we
my
find
laser
out.
focus.
As we find out with his son, he does get distracted by things, and it's
Right.
interesting because a couple after shows ago, I had mentioned that as an actor, like, I really find Tom Hardy a charming person, and I enjoy watching him. But as an actor, I don't feel like he's He's very expressive in a lot of ways, and it's
I
like
am
outside the
Bane.
range. But in this episode, I saw a range of his emotion, because when he shows compassion towards something, there's this power in his compassion that I believed.
Well, he finally cried this episode.
And he shed a tear.
No, there's more. His face was a little damp.
His neck his chest was that sweat, or do you think that was tears?
I mean,
But
well,
that's
calm
another-
down with the glisten sweat, okay? But I just
That fire
feel
was
like
hot.
I saw that power in his performance.
Yeah, right.
And he's always a powerful performer. See, and people were like, oh, he's a powerful performer.
Wait, people are you?
No. People in the comments were always trying to convince, like, oh, he's so good, because no, there's a strength in his character always. This subtle, harsh danger that lurks behind his. I don't see as much kindness, but in this episode, I felt some kindness, and I felt it towards the son.
Yeah.
How did you feel kindness towards his son? He pretty much sacrificed him.
He
to
didn't
his
know
power.
it was an inclusion. He included
Because we do
him.
finally know,
I
at
guess.
least for now, that that's the son.
we have that reveal.
And there was a line where the son is looking at him, and he goes, "What
do you see?" Mm-hmm.
And he was almost, to me at least, he was hoping he would say, "I see myself," or I see a resemblance or something. I see some semblance of us being related." And then, of course, Chumley intervened and was like, "He's scared. Everyone's scared of you," which we feel like Chumley's really not, which is why it's actually ironic he said that. But there was a certain sense of connectivity, because he could have got any kid to be Chumley's assistant. He purposely takes care of this kid and keeps him close at all times.
Okay, fair to say, I guess.
Also, though, he
But-
was including him because he was storing everything on their land as well. So I think that was also
And
like
he
a
pretty
safety
much
factor.
blackmailed.
So maybe maybe I have daddy issues too, because I really enjoyed
Right.
that because before I was like this deadbeat dad guy, you know?
It's like I feel like a lot of situations are very dual-sided with him, because I think a lot of times it can appeal to our emotions, but also there's always a meaning behind what he's doing to
But
get
didn't
his
he-
job done.
He
It's not just
blackmailed
emotional.
the guy that was taking care of his son, and his son heard the whole thing, because didn't he reveal to him? He revealed information to him that forced him to be included in his
I
plan.
think he did that on
But
purpose a little.
it's an inclusion. He's like, okay, now you're part of the group. Like,
Yeah. It's
you know,
like, I'm gonna let you in on the secret. I'm gonna let you in on the secret.
He made him feel
suppose, but it's
special
not.
in a
They
way.
wanted to be a part of the
and that's what I'm
secret.
saying to Tehran about it wasn't just an emotional decision. It also was, but also now you can't screw me over.
It was a
But
calculated
we don't know which
decision.
one he's really working off of.
Okay.
In any really real situation, like maybe he is super emotional and we just don't know that, because now we're taking his hard character and taking the business route, you know?
Fine.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, at this point, this entire show is maybe.
Right. I liked when he did his cleanup rounds and he went to the brothel and he went and cut the guy's thumb off, and he just like made it very clear, like, I'm in charge. Don't mess with me. If you do, you'll be of no use because you have no thumb.
I know what you're thinking. Yeah.
And then he takes the thumb and the diamond
Ugh.
to the brothel and makes it very clear to the whores, like, to keep their mouths shut.
Because diamonds are a
Because you
girl's
can have
best
either.
friend.
You can have either riches or you can not have
It
a
was
thumb.
reminiscent of the Pablo Escobar saying "plata o plomo," which is silver or lead. It was
Okay.
very close to that, because it was like you can either take the reward or a punishment. There is no in between.
Right.
It's very interesting dynamic
I liked
was
that.
shown. That's because you are a
No, because she
serial
like
killer.
no, because she
You-
likes
you
diamonds,
like
dude.
violence.
She likes
No.
diamonds.
She liked the part where he cut off the thumb.
I thought it was funny.
Okay. Well, you know who didn't think it was funny? The guys who thought
He
it
doesn't
was-
like blood,
Who,
so.
by the way, I felt like he could have screamed more. Like, if
Yeah,
someone,
it was,
put
like,
up a
really, like,
fight,
it was casual.
if someone's
Yeah.
trying to take my thumb, I'm gonna
Yeah,
have
but he
to
did
take
it so
that
quick.
L.
He did it so quick. He was just like,
I
and he's
mean-
like, oh, like I would be.
I didn't even see the blade. He did it so quick. I didn't even see the blade.
Yo,
Like,
if I'd
I
have
would've
to
been like,
swing, take the swing,
lose
so
it,
I
yeah.
gotta take an L.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just giving
Gonna
up
put
my
up a
thumb.
fight.
There needs to be some struggle over my thumb.
So then we see James find the treaty.
Yes.
Finally.
After burning all the
After
letters
burning,
of his father.
he never cared about what was in there.
Well,
See, I think it built up the whole time. We're like, oh, he really cares about what his mom may have left and like all these things.
No,
And
it
it's
was
like,
a treaty.
No,
Laser focus.
right.
Savage.
Again, there's this: is it emotion or no?
but I think
he's
it's
crying
also all
while he's
the
finding the
BS,
treaty,
and
right.
he's crying over the memory possibly of what his father did to his mother,
Right.
and to what he feels is half of him.
And then we see Lorraine. Wow, what's her-
Lorna.
Lorna basically put him on not the same level of his father, but basically say like,
She put him in his place.
yeah, like you're
You're
doing
buying
things to people
souls too. You've never
Yeah.
bought someone's soul
Soul for
because
beads, like-
he's going around using his money to
Right.
purchase a lot of loyalty as well.
Right.
So, and I think there was more to it as well. There's more to that reveal
Yeah.
that may come up later, and it might have to do with the slavery part.
Right.
I agree.
Right.
Right.
I think that he played a
I'm
larger part in
yeah.
that ship than we actually think right now.
Well, and then we see leading to the ship where they get the dirt on Sir Stuart.
Yeah,
Strange.
the influence, the ship, the influence.
Yes.
Yes. The
Which
sunken
had its
ship.
name changed and all that once it became a trade slating ship. And I feel like, I don't know, was anyone else shocked when it was children also that died on there? Because
No.
they made a huge deal about that.
Well, of course.
Where he
that's
kept
a-
trying to sit there and say like, and 76 children,
because
or
that's
74 children.
that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So, if you remember, we talked about this a couple episodes ago. So, the end of slave trade should have happened in 1807. That was the whole treaty of that, and it was very historical of them to put in the Sons of Africa into that piece, because the Sons of Africa were freed slaves who became educated in London and were
Right.
influential in getting the stoppage of slave trade in England. I think India was the only place where slave trade was still allowed because they said it was indigenous to the people. But that's how come there's so many Indians in Africa, and it was just interesting. So the children part, right? The children part was supposed to play on their souls. And he kept saying it, and they kept
And
not
it
really
didn't.
caring,
Right.
which showed that side of English history that's hidden
That
so
they just
much.
don't. Yeah. And then
They don't value
any.
Yeah,
black.
man,
Right.
yeah,
And
man,
I think
man,
it
man,
showed-
woman,
Man,
child,
woman,
doesn't matter. It's all
right,
just one
right,
category.
Right.
They were product, and even though they came to this agreement, it had more to do with possibly business. It had more to do with
Well, that's what I'm.
than morality.
Right.
Well,
that's-
because he asked the man that came on behalf of the Sons of Africa why he even cared so much. He was like, "Did you lose a loved one or something?"
And he's like, I'm not related to all black
Right.
people, by the way.
It
And
showed
Right.
ignorance as well within.
Right.
So this
realm
this
of
racist
slavery.
stuff isn't new, guys.
No.
This racist stuff that we're watching on social media isn't new.
But what I'm thinking, obviously, is that the connection to James was on that ship, or something.
I think that he had
He had something to do with that.
yeah, but not.
That's why he's been wigging out about over the last
Right.
past couple
Like, did he help
episodes and
them
having.
sink it?
Right. Yes, I think that
That's
he
what
was
I
on
think.
that end of it
I
rather
agree.
than the suffering end. I think
agree.
he was on the doer rather than the receiver.
And that's why I
the
think,
guilt.
and that's what I
So it's
think
the
why
guilt.
he
It's the
hates
guilt.
he hates Sir
100%.
Stuart, because that was his
it was on behalf
his-
of the East India
the person
Company.
that he looked up to,
And that's who
that
he
taught
worked
him,
for.
and who got
Yes.
him to help sink
Yeah,
the
it's
ship.
like you said. It's like
It's
I know
possible
more
that-
about
And it's
you
easier to
than-
blame somebody
I was
than
just
to really
following
take full
orders.
responsibility
I was
for
following
following
orders, and it's your orders.
Right.
I was
Yes.
following
But it's
orders.
like you chose to. So
It's an interesting.
yeah, so I'm
Space or
excited to see
conundrum.
how that continues.
How it plays out.
Yes, yeah. And then we see Dumbarton, who okay, so with the cholera, did he
Make it up.
Use your words.
right? So did
Use your
he
words.
create it and then put it in the water?
The cholera.
Or did he just pretend it was there and it really wasn't? Is what you're saying?
Basically.
Well, because he says it's kind of, I just use it kind of as a decoy so that
Right.
people kind of stay away.
That's
So he
what
got
I
a strand
thought.
of it and then made it like spread, basically.
I was under the impression
Or it
that
was
he
just
was
a
just
decoy?
faking it.
yeah,
I think he was faking it.
Okay,
thought
so it's
so.
him putting
'Cause
word
now
out that
that
cholera
he
is
took
running
his-
rampant and
Because
it's
it's such a
actually
scary
not.
disease, people
okay.
don't. I feel
Okay.
like at that time people don't know enough
About it?
where
Okay.
just being warned of a danger is enough to
Freak everyone out.
exactly keep
Okay.
them at bay. So I don't think he put cholera in the water. But then if you interpret it that way, maybe it's something we find out. But he said decoy, so I
Assume that it was just a made up thing to keep people away
Exactly.
from the hospital where people are being treated for cholera. Okay, cool. And then we find out that they want gunpowder from James, which means there's someone in James's inner circle spilling everything to the
Leak.
Americans. And he wants it made like how the French made it, and he wants it in 10 days. And that's
Very
basically
quickly.
8 days,
Very
8
quickly.
days, I think.
yeah.
Well, it was 10 originally, and then he saw
Chamberlain. What's her
No,
name?
No.
Carlsbad.
Carlsbad.
Yeah,
When he
yeah.
saw Carlsbad, it was 2 days later, so then it was 8 days. He's like, I'll have it to you in 8. So he has to get a big group of people to keep turning it, and it can combust basically at any time.
And it has to be like
Stirred.
maintained
Stirred
24/7, right?
and then
And it's still not stable.
And
Right.
typically it takes, did he say about 4 weeks to make actual gunpowder? And now they're suppressing it to 8 days?
Yeah, and that's why, because it's continually being stirred, and they add
And Chumley's not on board for this.
not at all.
Because it's dangerous.
It is
He could
dangerous.
die and his
Well,
son could
and
die.
the
And that's why
French-
I'm saying, how much does
Right.
he really love his son if he's willing to have him blown up over this
But he
gunpowder?
doesn't really know him either, so.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's like he's like, he's my son,
He
but
doesn't
like
really
I need
own
to get this
anything.
done.
Yeah, that's why people just, throw away their babies because they don't really know them. What kind of people are you on this panel, bro? You're
Hey, dude,
justifying
hey, James Delaney
the
is a
death of this kid.
complicated character, dude. So
Just
we
trying
don't
to
know what
figure
his
it out.
motives
We
are
don't.
exactly.
We don't. Speaking of wonderful people, we see Gary walk in on Zilpha while she's sleeping,
Oh my God, what a
moaning out James's
dick.
name,
that was so
like-
weird.
It'd
like
be
the
really
incest
weird.
person she is.
It'd be really weird if you were with a girl and she said another guy's name. That would just be.
But okay,
weird.
so again, I'm gonna travel over to Gary's side of things. How pissed would you be?
No, I would definitely be pissed, but it's pretty.
I wouldn't be beat her pissed. Like,
No, I'm not saying. I'm not
It's not
saying.
exorcism
I
pissed.
didn't go to. I didn't say that. I'm just
Exorcism
saying.
pissed.
Would you be pissed if your
I would
wife
be-
was moaning out her brother's name?
I
But
would,
it's
listen,
pretty obvious she doesn't like him. So
Right.
you know what I'm
I know.
saying?
I'm
So
just
they
saying.
gotta
They're
get
sleeping
the
in the same
hint.
bed at this point, right? I mean, he just like comes in and
Obviously,
He's an alcoholic.
cat's
like,
out of the
full blown.
bag.
Right.
She loves her brother.
I know. Get over it or leave her, whatever. Then
Yeah.
he beats the shit
And the
out of her.
guy should be happy that his ass is alive. I would be so stoked
Well,
to be like,
actually,
hey,
that-
I don't care about what's going on in my
I
world.
think
I'm
that-
alive. So
that
don't kill me
added to
today.
it.
And
That
he hates her
added
even
to it.
more because she was so upset when he came. Her face, she was
When
so
he lied
upset
to
when he
her.
walked home.
The wrong man walked through the
He
door.
walked home and then he told her he shot James and he killed her. And
then
she
she was
tried
like,
her hardest to keep it like.
But she was like, no more
I gotta find out through gossip. What happened? No,
no more
really. Tell me.
orgasms in the middle of my sleeping. Like,
So Zilpha
Damn.
really needs to stop
that's what
being
she really
controlled by men.
yeah.
I need a stronger
Well, and then she
Zilpha.
basically gets molested by the priest,
Right, yeah, right?
who was the creepiest dude. Like, this woman is
That
sexually
situation was
abused
twisted.
on so many levels by
True.
everybody.
And
I mean,
just laid
her
there.
husband rapes her, her brother rapes her,
Her
the priest
husband
molests
beats her,
her,
the priest-
she gets beat. Like, the bitch has a rough life.
And you just called her bitch. I mean,
But-
she's not living.
Just added to the
But she
list.
fucked her brother.
Hey, she got a diamond, though. She got a diamond for it, so.
She slept with her brother.
So it's
I
okay.
mean, her life
No
isn't
one
that
wants to
rough.
touch
Okay,
She's
so
fine.
do you like, are you cool with that?
No,
Like,
no.
is West Virginia calling you? Because I think it's legal there,
I
or is that
won't-
cousins?
I won't be condemning an entire state. I will say that no, but within the
I didn't
confines
condemn
of
them.
this
I'm asking which state.
entertainment, in the confines of this
We're gonna get some
entertainment
comment
We're gonna
bashing
get some
soon.
great comments,
We're gonna get some
guys.
comment bashing.
Bring it.
TV show, we have given into the idea that these two are somehow star-crossed lovers. We've given into this idea. Zilpha is consistently berated
I feel
and
bad for her on that. I'm
demoralized
not
by
saying that
every
I
man.
don't.
At the end of the
in
day,
her
they're
life.
only half siblings, you know? It's only
Again, I
half as
just
gross.
can't. I can't.
It's only half as gross.
I can't.
At least they're not full. Their babies might be all right. Their babies were all right.
That's
You
just
know
a
what I'm
myth,
saying?
anyways.
Oh, good to know.
No, that's
No,
not
it's
it.
not.
That's fucking genetics.
I'm not.
That's
okay,
genetics.
Just
Can
because
we
I'm on
leave?
this type of the table,
Can I
I'm
go?
not on board with Rick. I'm not Team Rick today at all.
Okay. So anyway,
We've accepted this the way we do in Game of Thrones, with the way we do in a lot of these shows. Do I necessarily think that this is something I would advocate at home? Obviously not.
don't.
It's
Guys,
horrible.
please don't
Don't
sleep
try
with
this
your
at
half
home,
brothers or
Please
sisters. Okay.
don't sleep with the sibling. Don't try to sleep.
Find the
not
neighbor.
Sleep with the
Like,
family member at all if you can avoid
Girl
it,
next
please.
door.
cousins
works.
aren't a good idea either.
Exactly. Boy
Second
next door
cousins, I
works
think,
too.
are maybe okay.
Or anyone that performs an exorcism on you.
But
Anyone with the same last name, maybe stay away from them.
can we just agree that Zilpha is a consistent victim? At
She
some
is.
point, she's really abused, and
She
as
is.
much as we dislike her, they kind of make us dislike her
Yeah.
character. She has never. She hasn't done anything wrong. She's become a victim of circumstance and a misogynistic world she lives in.
I was gonna say, I also think it speaks a lot for how women were treated in that time.
Yep.
Like, they really were just things.
No, but at the same time, Carlsbad or whatever her name is, she's not.
She's a
being
countess.
American.
She's
Yeah.
But what I'm saying
and
is,
she was born into it. And her husband also made some backhanded comments.
Well, no,
about her
but they
getting-
also said
did.
that she was
But
able
it
to
was
manipulate
freedom.
her way up
Right.
society.
it was a freedom.
So
her,
that was like, she's not a victim.
she was like, he basically made fun of her or
Right.
kind of poked and threw shade saying you sleep around, and she was like, she put
Yeah,
him
but
in
I
his
can't get
place.
that by having sex.
Exactly. She was like,
you
yeah,
can't.
but no, you can't. I won't.
Bye.
Shut up. Yeah. So we can see that there are strong women.
Right.
And as much as we dislike Zilpha for the role she plays, she's really just a victim that maybe we should see from a different light.
But I
She's
think
a
strong
victim.
women were a minority back then. I think the majority of women in that time period were treated, I'm not saying they were all raped by everybody, but they were definitely treated as more of just a thing than a person.
And they
they're
were
right, but
more
she doesn't
submissive
use
in general.
Yeah, maybe.
Gosh, I wish we could find women
Yeah,
from back
but you wanted to
then.
go back to those days.
No, I just think that Zilpha as a character is someone who, for all her flaws, we should also recognize that a lot of the things that that happened to her.
Right, she doesn't
So,
bring it upon herself.
She doesn't actually bring it upon herself.
Right.
So it's not like everything that happens to
well,
her.
she kinda
But there's a
does.
point where we dislike
But also,
her.
if you
and we're
if you
like, "Oh,
rewind
Zilpha."
those things, like the anger from her husband is because she slept with her brother.
Sure, when she was
exorcism is
too
because
young
she
to know
slept with her
better,
brother.
and her brother, we've
wait,
seen her
what?
brother manipulate a country and the most powerful company
I'm
on
just
the planet.
wondering, like,
so maybe
at what age did you learn you shouldn't sleep with your siblings?
Well, I mean,
at the age where you are taught by the people around you. So unfortunately, this is the thing. We're blaming her as a child for something she did as a child. She's still, in a lot of ways, still a child, especially when it comes to James.
How much older is James than her?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Even
okay.
if he's a little
I'm not
older
saying she
than her.
deserves the way she's being treated. I'm just saying situations all are like lead up to people's feelings.
Because
And
I
the
just
feel-
feel
the
like she
feelings
was
didn't appear out of
manipulating.
nowhere.
James, if anything we've seen, is a master manipulator.
Yeah, of course.
We've seen
Fair
him
to say.
manipulate and twist every single angle in his favor. Zilpha may have not known James as well as we think in the same household. So when he comes home for, like, let's say summer vacations, he might have used his influence and his power and his inner confidence to influence her behavior. Because we see Zilpha not putting up a struggle against her husband either. This guy, like,
She slapped him.
that's what I'm saying. She never sticks up for herself or has a
but he
voice.
beat the shit out of her.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
he just
well,
he
we
pulled
did see her.
into
We see her at the
Initially,
end. We see her at the
yeah.
end, kind of standing up for herself, which we'll
She's
get to in a
trying.
second.
But
But
she's still a Delaney.
I know.
But I mean, I just this episode, maybe I'm sensitive to women getting beat.
I'm
personally-
not insensitive to it. Don't look at me like that.
I
just
agree that
saying,
she's a victim of
I'm trying
circumstance,
to look at
but
all.
she has a
I'm trying to look
voice.
at all the points for all of our viewers who feel all types of different ways.
So basically, she's gonna go ape shit at some point on somebody.
Anyway,
I think so. I think so.
Okay, so at the end we see Sir Stuart freaking out, basically.
Yes.
That was Gaylord, correct? Dressed as a man. Or gay.
Godfrey.
Godfrey.
Gaylord Godfrey.
Oh, whoa! Wow! Listen, for our viewers, I'm not Team Rick or Team Abigail tonight at
But
all.
that's okay. Nobody's Team Tehran, so it don't matter.
You
Yeah.
got
It's
the
fine.
G's mixed up. It's okay.
My sister's name is Galen. Like it's
Okay,
not.
hey,
It's fine.
Whatever makes
Godfrey.
you. Whatever makes
I'm
you
not.
and your
That
bigoted
wasn't.
friends feel
That's
better.
not a bigoted statement at all.
Gaylord,
Anyway,
the
Godfrey,
one
I can't with you.
homosexual character.
Godfrey.
Gaylord. Okay, continue.
Cross-dresser.
mistake. It was
Cross-dresser.
a
Anyway, Godfrey
Slip of the tongue.
basically is like, you need to take care of this, and you need to participate.
Yeah, Gaylord sissy boy. No, continue,
Yeah.
please.
And then I really thought that.
We're having a good time tonight.
Anyway,
We're having a good time.
and then my final question before we wrap up: do you guys think Zilpha's gonna kill her husband in the next
hope
That's
she
episode?
actually.
does.
I don't know if she kills him in
Or
the next
herself.
episode, but I do think Zilpha attacks the husband at some point very soon.
Okay.
I don't think because
That's
I
your
just,
prediction.
It's hard for me to see any of these main characters die now. because if
I mean,
someone
we're in
dies,
episode
it should be
6 next week.
It should be with a
Someone
purpose.
has to die.
Dies with a purpose. So if Zilpha's husband dies, why? What happens? So I feel like in order to continue the story plot,
Sure.
there needs to be a reason, and hopefully in episode 6 a reason arises. In episode 7 or 8, she does so. That's my personal. opinion.
Someone's gotta die.
What do you
this
think,
season.
By
Rick?
the end.
I think she's gonna go ape shit on somebody.
She's
Do you
gonna
think
crack.
you guys think it's possible that she might kill herself?
No.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ophelia style.
And I wonder
I
how
like
that
that.
will affect James.
Right.
Yeah, because his whole plot to get to America is to take
Right.
her with him.
I think that would be a really
unless he
cool.
drops
I
her
think
from
that would be a
Lorna.
really cool twist.
If Zilpha dies, is it still taboo? Because the taboo.
Well, then he
plot-
sleeps with his dad's ex-wife.
He
Yeah,
sleeps with his
that's-
Does that happen all the time now,
That's
Tron?
the taboo.
not a happen all the time thing, but it's the wife. She's young. She's hot. That's actually that's a porn tube clicker. You know,
You're really familiar with porn.
Wait,
That's
that's
what
an
the third
that's an
episode you brought it
Ashton
up.
Kutcher
And because
movie.
this is a lot of porn that goes
Yeah.
into this TV
That's
series.
how you do your research, isn't it?
to watch porn.
Pornhub.com.
That's the
That's
plug.
Abigail
the plug.
Fraher, or you can see her on Pornhub.com as well. If you want more Abigail, just click.
I'd probably be wearing nicer clothes if I was on Pornhub. Anyway, any other
That's
comments?
actually a really nice shirt.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I have a prediction.
Okay.
I think that
And that's our show, guys.
I think that they're gonna try to pin the slave ship situation on James. Like you know how
yeah,
legally
yeah.
it's getting involved now and it's becoming a bigger case.
That's actually a really
I think that they're
good
gonna find a way to
turn.
blame it on James.
So they can hang him. And
Yeah.
then, and then
Right.
he's has for 450. Yeah, that's
Right.
a, that's a
It's
good
gonna
prediction.
come full circle.
I like that
good.
one.
You like
at
that?
you turning
Trying to
those
shut me
wheels.
up.
And that might be how we find out that James was on the other side of the slave
Yeah.
ship
Right.
that we didn't realize.
he
and
played
it
a role
pins
in
back
it.
on Strange.
Right.
It's interesting.
And maybe he helped sink the ship. That's when he lost his mind. Like went and not lost his mind, but then went and lived in
I'm hoping
Africa
he
with
helped
the tribe.
save
You know,
save slaves. I'm hoping that. I still
I
want
hope so,
James
too.
to have a redeeming
me. Oh, I
quality
agree.
because I like
agree.
him and I don't want to like a monster.
Right. Well, we will see you next week.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. I'm Abigail Fraher, and you can follow me on all social media at Abigail Fraher.
And I'm Olivia Gabaree. Follow me at The Real OG.
At I am Tehran, at I am Tehran, all across the board, at I am Tehran. And I already like enough monsters. So.
Don't forget, he's also the bathrobe heartthrob. And I'm a dangerous man, and you can find me on all social media at Rick Hong.
I didn't set it up, so you couldn't.
We'd have
you had
balloons
to
for you
cue it up.
tonight, but they were left outside last night. Happy
Oh.
birthday.
Hey,
Bye, guys. See you next
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only. Do not necessarily.
We don't have a budget later?
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only. Do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.